Barbara, Horace, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Eleni, for having us.
I'm excited for us to dive in here and talk about this incredible project that you guys have been doing and collaborating on, Sweden-Kenya collaboration. Would you like to explain, why? Why did you decide to bring EFT into these 20 schools in Kenya?
This amazing project started in August 2019. I was surfing on Facebook and I saw information about the school in Kenya, started chatting. That was with Horace, who was a teacher at the school. And I started talking, who am I? And I'm a life coach. I help people with phobias for public speaking, and I'm using tapping. And I explained to him the benefits of tapping. And then he just almost froze and said, please teach me. In the school, we have 300 traumatized children. They have very little to eat. They are in poor health conditions. They might be orphans. Their parents have died in AIDS. They have HIV, hardly any food, not good grades, and they don't smile. So, yes, I can teach you, of course. So I was thinking, it will take me 3 times and that's it. But it transformed into a wonderful project that today has 4,000 students, different ages, 20 schools, 35 instructors. We also had to create a food project for 60 of these poorest people that didn't have any food when the pandemic hit. So we are very proud and we have very, very small fundings. I collect money with my friends and on Facebook, but we have made enormous progress with this money. Horace will talk about how we implemented it into schools.
Very well, Coach Barbro. Thank you very much once again, Eleni, for hosting me this afternoon. Being a teacher in Kenya and teaching those children that Barbara has talked about, I faced those challenges one-on-one because you look at children who are very dejected, children who are gloomy and always sad, children who come from very bad backgrounds. So they are always unhappy because of gender violence, going without meals, lack of proper self-esteem. Their esteem is always low and they fear speaking in front of people and things like that. So when tapping came, I said we have a solution in this. So I got trained. Personally, I had to try it on myself because I also used to have migraines that couldn't go away. So I wanted to have that personal experience with tapping before I gave it to the others. So I tried it out after training and the migraines disappeared. So I was satisfied that this thing works. So I immediately embarked on how I can introduce it to schools because children face problems such as the ones I've mentioned across the schools. But just like Barbara said, we can't reach all of them because, it needs funds. So I singled out 20 schools within the rural areas where life is not very easy. So the first thing I did was to call teachers, representatives from all these 20 schools. And then I organized a workshop. And I want to thank Barbara once again for making this happen. I had a very successful workshop. And I trained them on tapping. And then I sent the teachers back to their 20 schools and told them to go and train the others whom they had left there. And then they would later train the children on how to tap. We are very proud to announce today that we have over 35 tapping instructors who are very well trained and so many other teachers back at schools who seek advice every day from these tapping instructors on how to even do tapping better. So I have been visiting those schools, making follow-up, taking to them any tapping material, be it pamphlets, be it videos, be it anything that they could read to better their knowledge on tapping. We also have social media platforms like WhatsApp and Facebook where we interact, ask questions and answer questions depending on what challenges teachers are facing. Thank you very much. It has been a wonderful journey since 2019.
I have one thing that I forgot.
Yes.
I want to explain that we are using a combination of 3 tapping methods. I started with TFT, thought field therapy, because I'm a social worker and I was searching for a self-helping tool, but I found it too complicated. I tried to simplify it. But then I found EFT that I find much easier. So that was where we started with the combination of two. But then we were privileged to cooperate with Peaceful Heart Network that have a fantastic simple method that is called TTT, that is Trauma Tapping Techniques. I reached out to them, as I know Gunilla Hamne, also Swedish, and asked her, do you have any closer than Sweden that could go to them and teach them? So she sent their best instructor that even spoke Swahili. So then we added 3 methods. And I think the benefit of TTT is it's a silent method. You don't talk so much. There's a lot of children in the room, and Horace and I have also been talking about it gives a child privacy. You don't have to talk about what's difficult at home or what burdens your heart. You can just tap and heal. So we have these 3, and as always, tapping is growing and expanding into new things. And then Horace, if you please talk about our results with this mixture of methods, the effectiveness that we have noticed.
Absolutely. I would touch something very briefly still on how. How do we ensure that the children develop interest, a lasting one, on tapping? We have created groups. Each group is placed under the charge of a young tapping instructor. We call them our tapping champions. In a classroom, there are a mixture of learners. There are the fast learners who train them on something and they go with it. And then there's this group that takes it slowly to learn. And then there's the third group that just simply ignores. So we take the advantage of those who learn very fast and put them in charge of the others. So they demonstrate tapping to the ones who are still learning slowly and the ones who are totally ignorant. And we see that working very well because we are building future tapping instructors as well as building the interest of learners in tapping. So that is the bit I wanted to add. Then we go to the results. The experiences, I call them. We have, over the period that I've worked with teachers, been observing the behavior change in the learners as we teach them tapping. So we have learners who are very happy these days. You can see them all smiles. Learners who could not smile in class when we were beginning this program. They were facing the most difficult of times in their lives. Tapping has restored hope in them. They now know that at least they are wanted, they can make it in life, and they can be people in future. So we have children who are very happy nowadays. We have children who could not face their peers and talk in class because of embarrassment or just being shy or something like that. Teachers have used tapping to build them, and nowadays they can confidently face audiences both in class and even outside and do very well, and we are so happy about it. We have learners who are very afraid of examinations. Here I call it examination fever. They would literally shed tears when you give them exams because they could not believe in themselves. Tapping has really helped build on their confidence. They now can face examinations with a lot of confidence. And looking at the results that they have achieved so far in their national examinations, we can only say that tapping really works. Another result that is quite amazing that I must talk about is that there are adolescents who, for one reason or the other, especially matters to do with how they were created, they are ashamed of their bodies or something like that. So usually that low self-esteem. But through tapping, teachers have encouraged them that they should concentrate on their strengths and appreciate their weaknesses. If you can't change it, live with it, So we had them also accepting that that's how they were created. There are things they can do, there are things they can't do, but they really need to build on their strong points and just live with their weak points. And that has made a lot of contribution in their well-being going forward. We have children who they had hidden talents, but they are not discovered because of lack of self-belief. Tapping has really helped them most to come up, be active, and contribute in being creative in class and things like that. So we have had amazing results. One thing that I must underscore, and it makes us happy also as tapping instructors. Yes.
Can I add one thing that makes me so happy?
Absolutely.
When you told me that the presence in school is much higher. Children that did not attend school now go voluntarily. They are happy, they have fun, and they study and they get good grades. And that is amazing to get dropout children or teens to come back to school only by tapping and supporting them. That's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, we have registered a great number of children who come to school every day because they have a reason to wake up every morning to go to school because they want to learn. You know, when their minds are now opened because of tapping, they want to learn as much as they can. And they enjoy the fun of tapping every day because we do it in the morning before they begin their classes. We do it around midday when concentration is going down. And then later in the evening, we do it together at the assemblies when they are going back home. That gives them the excitement, the reason, the drive, come back tomorrow and continue with the process.
Anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up?
I would like to say that I see tapping as a tool for a better world on the planet. The future needs grown-ups and children that are harmonious, caring, take care of themselves, and can cooperate. We won't have a future without us cooperating all over. We are preparing, like Horace said, for coming generations. As our youngest instructors are 7 years old and above, and we also have a plan for them to follow them all the years in school. So they study, they get a job, they become better parents, better grandparents. So we have a long vision and we are patient. Tap by tap, we see a better world. And we want to expand to as many schools as possible in Kenya, over the borders, and hopefully to Sweden. We don't have much tapping in schools here. Our biggest obstacle is lack of funding. We have a tiny budget, but we use all we can, and we have expanded in spite of that. We have a link you can click on and get to a web page with more information, form, you can get in contact with us, maybe donate. We'll see. So what is your conclusion, Horace?
I want to make a conclusion by sharing one of the photos that shows our children tapping. That is one of the schools that is in our program. So those are children that we trained on tapping, and you can see them tap. And they're among the children whom we have registered amazing results with. As I conclude, I want to tell anybody who would like to introduce tapping for the first time in class that it's not always success. There must be challenges. Some of the challenges that the teachers have observed is that you have different learners in class. There are those who are called fast learners. You would train them on something and they pick it and they fly with it. Then there is this other group that really takes time to learn and they need a lot of encouragement. And then there is that group that you tell them something and they are like, yeah, we have heard about it. They're all our learners and they're in the same class. So for you to overcome such challenges, the solution is very simple. Just work with them at their own pace. I mean, don't force them. Work with them at their own pace. They will build interest bit by bit. And then when you put other learners in charge so that you become an observer and you let them do it, you let them own it, then it becomes theirs and you will register success. Apart from the classroom, we also work with different groups. For example, we have a group in Eldoret, Kenya, consisting of refugees who left their country in Southern Sudan and took refuge in Kenya. Some of them child soldiers in the war that happened in that country. There are people who had a lot of trauma and they couldn't sleep very well because of the things they saw in their country. When we met them, we trained them on tapping and we went back there to share experiences. We received very amazing results. They can now sleep peacefully. They are building on reconciliation. They want to forgive those who did wrong for them. They want to be happy. They want the world to be a happy one, so peaceful for everyone to live in. We are very free to offer knowledge on tapping. So anyone who is interested in our workshops, this knowledge is unlimited and we want to share it as wide as we can. So you can always click the link that will be provided and then you will fill a form. We shall get your request for training and then we organize and we share this wonderful knowledge together. I think it's good if everyone is happy. So thank you very much once again for hosting us this afternoon. I am very, very happy.
Yes, me too. Thank you very much for inviting us.
Learning even more about the work you're doing has been so moving. I'm in awe and just speechless at the the incredible work that you guys have been doing. It's very, very inspiring.